Well, hello there friends, I'm Marley Bird, and in this video we will be making a bulky crochet basket. I am following along with the instructions from Yarnspirations.com for the Bernat bulky crochet basket. In this pattern, you will find a full list of the materials, the abbreviations used in the pattern, and then of course all of the instructions for the pattern. This pattern uses 2 balls of the Bernat Pop bulky. Along with this yarn, you will need a size L crochet hook, a stitch marker, a tape measure, a good pair of scissors, and last but certainly not least, a yarn needle to weave in your ends. This is a free pattern available at Yarnspirations.com. I will put a link in the video description box right down there below. And while you're down there, don't forget to smash that like button, as my kids say. This basket is fun and easy, and you will be filling it up with yarn in no time. Go ahead, get that free pattern, grab your materials, and we can get started. The Bernat Pop bulky yarn is a lovely size 6 weight yarn, and it comes with a striping effect. So your basket will look as if you've done a ton of color work when really it is all with the yarn. To start, you need to pull from the center of your cake so we can begin with this center color. Once you find the end of the center, we can begin with a slip knot directly onto our hook. To make a slip knot, place the tail of the yarn in the palm of your hand, take your working yarn, wrap it around your forefinger and middle finger, and when you come back up, cross over. As you rotate your hand over, you can then take your hook, go underneath the front loop, and grab that back loop and off. Let your fingers come out, and you have a slip knot. Just pull the legs apart and tighten it up to your hook. Okay? Now you want to chain 4. So you will go around your yarn just like so and chain 4. This is the bottom of our basket, so we want to join with a slip stitch to the first chain we created. So I've put my hook into that first chain, yarn over, pull through a loop, and then pull through the loop that's on my hook. I now have a ring that I am going to work the next set of stitches into. I begin with a chain 2, and this chain 2 does not count as a stitch throughout, so I will not count that. Now I want to yarn over my hook so I can complete half double crochets, all worked into the ring I created, so right where my finger is. So I will insert my hook into that ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and draw through all 3 loops. I can scooch these stitches around the ring as I create them. So that was 2, 3, 4. Again, I'm putting them all into that ring. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You'd be like, oh, wait, you've run out of room and you still have more to go. Nope. Just grab the first ones you did and the ones you just finished and just scooch them around that ring. So that was 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we are supposed to join with the slip stitch to the first half double crochet. So I will insert through both legs, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on my hook. Yes, you will have a small hole here at the bottom of the basket, but that's totally okay. As long as you have your 12 half double crochets created, that is the main purpose. Congratulations, you have finished round 1. That is the setup for the rest of the circle we will be creating for the bottom of the basket. When crocheting circles, you increase your stitch count on each round. So for round 2, we start off with the chain 2, and in this very first half double crochet that we joined with the slip stitch into, we will place 2 half double crochet. So we're going to place 2 into that first stitch. Now, in each stitch all the way around, we will do that again. So we will place 2 half double crochets in each stitch all the way around. So we will go from 12 half double crochets to 24. When you come to the end of the circle and you finish the last half double crochet, join with a slip stitch to the first half double crochet. You will see now that you have created a circle and you've already established all of your increase points. On the following rows, you will continue to increase, but with each round, you will have 1 more half double crochet between each of the increases. For example, on round 3, you will begin with a chain 2. You will start with 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, and then you will half double crochet in the next stitch. You will put 2 half double crochets in the following stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. Notice how there is 1 solitary half double crochet in between each of the 2 half double crochet increases. That's on round 3. On round 4, you will have 2 half double crochets between each increase. On round 5, you will have 3 half double crochets between each increase. On round 6, you can see that it changes up ever so slightly because instead of working 4 half double crochets between, we will have 9 half double crochets and then an increase. This will get us to a total of 66 half double crochets. I have already worked up a swatch up to that point, so let's bring that in and we can carry on with this basket pattern. And here we are. This is the bottom of my basket through round 6. I'm getting ready to start round 7, which is where we begin to turn the look of the basket from looking at the bottom, and we'll begin to work the sides of the basket. So I'm at the beginning here and I start off with the chain 1. So this is already different. And now working through the back loops only, okay? So working just through that loop and that loop and that loop, not through both, but just the back loop. We will do a single crochet in each one of the half double crochets all the way around. So I will just work in the back loop only and work a round of single crochets. The body of the basket is worked in single crochets. It makes it a little bit more sturdy and more stiff to hold up the sides of the basket. So you do want to make sure you are crocheting these stitches nice and snug because it will give your basket more stability and structure. As you come up to the end of this round, you will join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet, just like you've done all along. And now the designer wants us to take a stitch marker and place it in our fabric at this point so that we have a place to measure from for the side of the basket. We now carry on to round 8 and we will be repeating round 8 for the body of the basket. You start off with the chain 1 and then working through both legs of the stitch, you will single crochet all the way around. So it's just a round and round and round and round of single crochet. And at the end of each round, you join with a slip stitch and then chain 1. Okay, so you're working through both legs on this round. You see how that works up just like so? All right, can you see the difference here? You have the front legs that we didn't use exposed here, and that will be the turn of the basket. So see, here's the bottom and this will be the turn. And then for the body of the basket, we will work in rounds of single crochet. You work these rounds of single crochet until the body of the basket measures about 8.5 inches from the marker. I'm going to go ahead and get to that point. You should too. And then it's as easy as preparing for the handles and you will be all done with this basket. Oh, I almost forgot. One more thing before I go, let me show you how to add a new ball of yarn when it comes time. When you get to the end of your skein of yarn, all you will do is crochet to the point to where you have at least 4 to 6 inches left. And then when you get to the next stitch, go ahead, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over with your new ball of yarn and pull that new ball of yarn through those 2 loops. Okay, now your new ball of yarn is on your hook and you can continue on. I know that there are some YouTube instructors that would say to crochet over these ends and that would be enough to weave them in. I'm not that crochet instructor. I want you to weave in those ends at the end of the project. Okay, let me continue on and get to those handles. That took a little bit of time, didn't it? My basket has now reached the 8.5 inches from the marker, and it's time for the handles. Now, the handles instructions have you start off with your round and you single crochet 23 single crochet, and I've already done that. Now, I'm supposed to chain 10, so I will chain 10. And now I want to skip 10 on my basket. So I want to make sure I don't count the one I've worked into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go to that next one over and I will single crochet into that one and the next 22, giving me my 23. So I'm going to have 23 single crochet again, and I will repeat the chain 10 and then skip 10 stitches. 22 and 23. Now I will chain 10. Oops. And then I will skip 10, which leads me to right over here to join with a slip stitch. Okay, so I have my handle started over here and I have my handle started over here. So the next round, we are going to work into these stitches that we did chains, and then we will do 3 more rounds of just single crochet. So let me go ahead and get over to where the chain stitches are and we can work into those. And that would be 23. And I'm right here to where all of my chains are, and I will single crochet into each one of these chains. So I'm getting back to my original stitch count once I do that. And so just like when you work into any sort of a foundation chain, I like to pierce right through the chain itself, and I get what I call the butt of the stitch and the back leg of the stitch on my needle. Okay, so here is my chain, and I'm just going to pierce right through it and single crochet. I know I have friends who like to work just through the back of the stitch or the butt of the stitch, but I really like working the chain stitches in this manner. All right, let me rotate this a little bit so I can get to them. There's my chain, and just pierce right into it. Pretty simple stuff here. When you get to the end of the chains, you just continue on with the single crochet round that you've already created. Until you get over to the next set of chains for the other handle, and you will repeat the process of single crocheting into those 10 chains. Once you've gotten through all of those chains, join with a slip stitch, and then the last thing to do is 3 more rounds of single crochets, just working back into the top of those handle stitches. Pretty easy stuff. I am coming up to the end of my 3rd row, and I'm ready to join with a slip stitch after this last stitch here. Right there, just like always throughout the entire project. I want to take my scissors, I want to cut a tail, leaving at least 4 to 6 inches so I can weave in this tail. And all I'm going to do is just pull up on that tail right there, okay? And I will take my tapestry needle And what I do is I usually will unply those so that they fan out a little bit and pinch them around my needle. Can you see that? Pitching it around the needle so that way I can shimmy it onto the yarn needle, okay? Now, working directly through this V, can you see that V? That's actually, it's the first stitch of the round. I'm gonna work right through the center of that V and come down. And then I'm gonna come back over here where the yarn came out before, over here in this last one, and come down. And it gives a nice seamless join right there. Okay, now on the inside, I want to take this tail and I want to weave in my ends. Now I can weave it in with all the yarn like so, but I actually prefer to do this. I will untwine the yarn or unwind the yarn all the way down here at the base. This is what I do when I'm dealing with bulky yarn like this. And I will weave in each bit of the tail individually. So for this one, I will come down the post of the stitches a little ways. Okay, bring that all the way down. And then I will work my way back up the post of those stitches. Not all the way up, but just partially. And then come back down. And as I'm going down the post, I'm trying to split the actual yarn and the fiber, just like we split this apart. I'm making my needle go through all of it. And it's only coming on the inside. My needle is not visible on the outside, okay? Once that's done, those 3 directions, I can let that one be and I can come over here and I can do each one of these individually as well. Once all those are done, you can zip them nice and close to the fabric and you can remove your stitch marker if you still have it in there and your basket is complete. Now I do want to remind you, this kind of curved line you have of the basket, that's perfectly normal and natural for crochet to happen with that little curve, unless you do a special technique to prevent the seam from being crooked. It will always be crooked, but once your basket is all done, let me get it all out here. This basket is super adorable. Look how cute that is. It's such a cute basket. It stands up on its own. I mean, obviously you can see in the face camera that it's right here, but then looking down, you can see that it's not diving in anywhere. And I can put anything I want into it. So it's pretty cool. Look how cute this thing is. I just love it. And there you have it. Look at that great basket with those handles. And I love that the stripes make it look like I did a ton of color work, but the yarn did all of the work for me. And the fact that it stands up on its own is fantastic. I can't wait to fill this up with my yarn or my books, or just have it sitting there looking pretty with a plant inside of it. I hope you will make this really great basket, and if you do, please share with us on social media. Use hashtag #MarleyBird or hashtag Yarnspirations so we can find your cute basket and smash your like button. I'm Marley Bird, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.